Hello, you're tuned in to Grady Hooker and Wrestling Roundup on FreeFM 89.0. Please visit our Facebook page, facebook.com/Wrestling Roundup Radio for all of the latest episodes. We'll crack into it with This Day in History. Three separate pay-per-views happened in This Day in History. In 1992, WCW Wrestle War happened. The most notable match on this pay-per-view was the War Games match. That's quite a classic match for WCW. If you haven't heard of it, you might want to go look it up. Sting's squadron of Sting, Barry Windheim, Goldust, Ricky Steamboat, and Nikita Koloff took on the Dangerous Alliance, which was Stone Cold, Rick Rude, Arn Anderson, Larry Zbyszko, and Bobby Eaton. Sting ended up forcing Eaton to submit with an armbar after Zbyszko accidentally hit Eaton in the shoulder with a metal piece of the turnbuckle. Another pay-per-view that happened was again a WCW pay-per-view, and it was Slamboree 1998. Two notable matches on this card. Eric Bischoff made a challenge on an episode of WCW Monday Nitro to Vince McMahon, who at this point, it's in the height of the Monday Night Wars between WCW and WWF, and he rung the bell and made the ref count to 10 and declared himself the winner because Mr. McMahon refused to show up on WCW. And the other match was a WCW Tag Team Championship match. Sting and the Giant, who's the Big Show now, took on the Outsiders of Kevin Nash and Scott Hall. This match is sort of a bit confusing here, but Big Show pinned Kevin Nash after Scott Hall hit him with title belts. There was a fair bit of betrayal in here. Scott Hall defected with the Giant to NWO Hollywood, and Sting and Kevin Nash remained on the original NWO, and this reinforced the split between the NWO supergroup that dominated WCW for so long into the different factions run by different people. To a more modern day pay-per-view, we got WWE Judgment Day 2009. John Cena took on the Big Show. John Cena managed to lift the Big Show onto his shoulders and hit the attitude adjustment for the win. The WWE Championship match, Randy Orton went in as champ, defending against Batista. Batista ended up blocking the RKO, which led to Orton getting annoyed and slapping the ref. So Batista won by DQ, which meant Orton managed to keep his title. That's quite often how Orton retained his title back in these days. After the match, the legacy of Ted DiBiase and Cody Rhodes stormed the ring, and Ric Flair returned to WWE for about the 100th time and saved Batista from the group. The main event was the World Heavyweight Championship match, where Edge went in as champ, taking on Jeff Hardy. Matt Hardy ended up interfering in the middle of this match, who Jeff broke his hand last time they encountered. Matt Hardy smashed Edge in the head with his cast, but Edge managed to pick up the win when Jeff climbed up to the top of the turnbuckle, and Edge grabbed him and hit an Edgecution off the top, and then pinned him for the 1-2-3. Okay, well, the classic entrance theme of this week was picked, and it was the Honky Tonk Man's song Cool, Cocky, Bad. And that was the Honky Tonk Man's entrance theme. You're listening to Grady Hooker on Wrestling Roundup, FreeFM 89.0. And for this next segment, I'm with Brandon, live via Skype from America.
Hello.
Okay, Brandon, well, we'll crack on into what happened on Raw. What do you think of the announcement for the Last Man Standing match between Cena and Ryback?
I thought it was very predictable, but I think it's going to be very damaging to the loser of the match.
Yeah.
I think if they have Ryback lose, it's going to be really damaging to his character.
Okay, then Randy Orton had a match with Damien Sandow.
Yeah, it was a decent match.
What do you think of the Sandow song?
I liked it, and I saw on Twitter that many other guys liked it too.
Yeah.
So I think it may be a thing that they may look at in the future for Damien Sandow.
Yeah. Then Fandango taking on R-Truth with Jericho judging him with Brodus Clay and Tenso.
I think they should have had R-Truth put Fandango over. R-Truth's like 40 years old, and Fandango is the future of the WWE.
Yep.
So they should have just put him over instead of just having him lose by count out for no reason.
Fair enough. Did you think the Jericho judging panel did anything for the match?
Maybe. I think it. I think it may have damaged the segment actually because Brodus Clay botched the segment and he couldn't find one of the numbers, so I think it really took away from Chris Jericho versus Fandango and the match itself.
Yeah, he ended up giving R-Truth a 42.
Not very good.
No. Okay, Alberto Del Rio taking on Dolph Ziggler.
Yeah, that was a good match. While it lasted.
Yeah, well it lasted. Ended up in a major brawl at the end of it.
Yep. I think I like the way they made Jack Swagger look very powerful.
Yeah, by taking the ladder and just attacking everybody.
Yeah, he took out Ricardo. Ricardo took a really hard bump right into the barricade, and Ziggler also got hit in the face with the ladder.
Yeah.
That had hurt.
Yeah. Who do you think's gonna win out of that lot?
I'm not really sure yet.
Okay. Up next was Caitlyn getting another text from her secret admirer.
I'm pretty sure that they're going to go down the Cody Rhodes route with this.
Okay.
I think by having the Bella Twins in the background, I think it's going to be involving Team Rhodes Scholars, possibly.
Okay. What do you think of Khali going undercover to find out?
I think these segments with Kali are kind of entertaining,
Yeah.
but at the same time, they're a waste of time.
He did look good dressed up as Rey Mysterio.
Looks better than he does in his ring gear.
Yeah. Okay. Well, the Shield took on the random grouping of the Usos and Kofi Kingston.
That was actually a good match. I really like the ending where Kofi took the headlock driver. I believe that's what it's called. He
Yeah, I think
landed
it is.
right on the top of his head. That had hurt really bad.
Yeah, that new finisher of Dean Ambrose's looks pretty cool.
Yeah, it's pretty interesting. I believe he adopted it from Sami Callihan, who is an independent wrestler here in America, and sometimes he occasionally wrestles around the world.
Okay. Yep. Antonio Cesaro taking on Zack Ryder.
I think this was a random match
Yeah.
because they haven't really been doing anything as of late, and they put Cesaro over, and I think the Zack Ryder losing streak, I think it's really going to end to a big Zack Ryder heel turn.
Either that or a future endeavor for Zack Ryder.
Hopefully not, because the guy's young, and I think he deserves another shot in the mainstream.
Well, we'll see what happens with him. Cesaro took him out with the neutralizer.
Yep, another neutralizer.
Then what do you think of Paul Heyman and Lesnar completely trashing Triple H's office?
I think it was an interesting segment because I was looking on Twitter and I was actually kind of confused about what was going on because I was believed that they attacked Triple H in his office.
Oh, yeah.
But as I watched on Raw, I thought it was a really interesting segment with him destroying his office. I don't think it was really Triple H's office, but it would have been, well, it was a very good segment to further their feud with Triple H.
Yeah, there were a few sort of things that you'd think he would have had in his office.
Yeah, maybe like a fish tank. He's like smashed the fish tank.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I think it definitely puts the rivalry between these two to be personal a lot more than the professional rivalry they had before.
Yeah, I think that's really what they needed. I think maybe Paul Heyman's been talking about Triple H's wife, Stephanie. I think that's adding more personal to the feud,
Yeah.
if you know what I mean.
Yeah. Okay, well, AJ Lee and the Bella Twins took on Caitlyn and the Funkadactyls.
I like this match. I think it was pretty good, but I was really kind of confused on the ending. Why would the Bella Twins walk out on AJ Lee when they are heels and they're facing the Funkadactyls, who they really hate? Makes no sense.
Yeah, I think they just had enough of the match and just left AJ. AJ is the number one contender. So, and the Bella
Yeah.
Twins were kicked
hmm
out of that Battle Royal.
Yep. When they were actually at a red carpet, so they lied
Yeah.
about that.
Okay. Well, Sheamus took on Wade Barrett.
Of course, Wade Barrett lost again, which I didn't think was a good move, but it does further the Mark Henry versus Sheamus feud, which will probably be taking place at Extreme Rules.
Yeah. After the match, Henry beating up Sheamus with a EMT's belt, I think it was.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure because I remember Michael Cole noting in commentary that he took someone's belt from ringside,
Yeah.
and I think by the looking at the welts and Sheamus, I can tell that it was really, really painful.
Yeah. Okay. What do we got? Then the main event of the night was Ryback taking on Kane.
I think it was a decent match. I think it could have been a little bit better, but I think the two big men and strong men in the WWE could have put on a better show
Yeah.
for us, the fans.
What do you think of Ryback being in the headlines of the main events for Raws and SmackDowns lately?
I think it's good because it's giving WWE a fresh face in the main event scene. For the last couple of months, it's been CM Punk, John Cena, and I think Ryback being in the main event offers a new view for the WWE universe to experience.
Yeah, it's definitely different. And the whole Shield Team Hell No combining with that is just adding another element on top of it that just keeps you watching and wanting to know what's going to happen
Yeah,
at the end of
definitely.
this.
Yeah, definitely. I agree with that.
Because after this match, the Shield came down, and then Ryback retreats, Team Hell No fight, and then Cena with the save. So, don't know where this is going to go. But we'll...
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see if the Shield get involved in the WWE Championship match at Extreme Rules, because I think they definitely may get involved.
Yeah, well, it's a last man standing, so it's easy enough for them to come out and just take Cena out and make Ryback the champ.
I was thinking maybe having like the Shield attack both men, so nobody wins. Actually, I'm not sure if that can happen in the match, but I think that'd be an interesting finish. So it continues Ryback versus John Cena until CM Punk returns.
I think they can have a double 10 count. I'm not sure on that, but either way.
Yeah.
Yep, well, that's the end of Raw. So
Yep.
I'll play our listeners Triple H's song, The Game. That was The Game, Triple H's entrance song. You're listening to Grady Hooker on Wrestling Roundup, FreeFM 89.0. And Brandon is still here with us.
Yes, I am.
And we're going to talk about Friday Night SmackDown, the opening segment for which was a Jericho highlight reel with Ryback as his special guest.
It was kind of interesting that they didn't really focus on Fandango versus Chris Jericho.
Yeah,
Because I was expecting Fandango to get involved, but it really wasn't the case.
no. Has there ever been a highlight reel recently that doesn't end up in Jericho facing his guests in a match?
Yeah, I don't really remember that. I think it's been a very long time since we've seen that.
Okay. Teddy set the match for the main event. Up next was the match between Kofi Kingston and Cody Rhodes.
Yeah, that was a very good match. I was really impressed by these two men. I really liked the finish where Rhodes got a Trouble in Paradise in the air.
Yeah.
I think that really put Kofi over.
It's putting him in that level with everyone else with this, the finisher can come out of nowhere style that we've got with the RKO, the bro kick, all of these kicks and moves.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, so we got Zeb Coulter doing an interview.
Zeb Coates was always great on his promos. I expected the best, and I got the best back in return.
Yep. He's the best mouthpiece you could wish for Jack Swagger.
Yeah, I'm really happy they went with Zeb Coulter. There was another guy rumored, James Mitchell. He was in TNA for a bit. I didn't really like him, but Zeb Coulter, he's really impressed me so far.
Yep. And then the reason they had the interview is up next. Biggie Langston was taking on Jack Swagger.
Yeah, I was really surprised that they're having two heels go one-on-one.
Well, they didn't go one-on-one. I don't think this
Yeah,
match ever started, but
yeah, exactly. They should.
Alberto gave them a
Hmm.
ladder.
Yeah, always getting involved in the matches.
Yep. Everybody ended up getting laid out, and this time Alberto was standing tall.
Yeah, this also ended up in Dolph Ziggler getting concussion, so he's really unknown for Extreme Rules at this point.
Yeah, don't know what's going to happen there. Hopefully he comes to and comes out better so we can see the
Yep,
match.
Yep, I agree.
The Shield, well, Dean Ambrose of The Shield, taking on Daniel Bryan with Kane by his side.
This was a great match. I like to call it a Ring of Honor match, but I don't believe Dean Ambrose was ever in Ring of Honor, but it just reminds me of the independent scene and how far these guys have come from wrestling in front of 100 people to 10,000 people, and they've really impressed me in this match.
Definitely, I've wanted to see these guys one-on-one for a while. We got quite a few CM Punk Daniel Bryan matches, and they were great. I wondered what would happen when we threw guys like Dean Ambrose and Seth Rollins into the mix with these other great independent performers, and the end product is always great.
Yeah, it's like peanut butter and jelly. When you put them together, they're great.
Yep. I think, Kofi came out for the save in the end of this match.
Yep, I really think this is setting up Dean Ambrose versus Kofi Kingston at some point in the future.
Yeah.
Maybe at Extreme Rules, maybe at a Raw or SmackDown, but I definitely think it's coming.
Yeah, when I saw this finish, I thought maybe Team Hell No and Kofi were going to take on the whole lot of the Shield, maybe with the titles on the line, both sets of them, or don't know what'll happen there.
Yeah, we haven't seen a winners take all tag team match, and I think that's a really unpredictable match. But with the Shield involved, I think it's really predictable, and I think that the Shield will be holding the U.S. title, the tag team title, very soon.
Yep. Okay, well, the next match was a very short match between Big Show and Tensai.
Tensai doing the job to the Big Show.
Yep.
Funkadactyls and Brodus Clay at ringside.
KO punch.
Big Show dominates.
I think the best part was after the match, the Orton saving Brodus.
Yeah, I thought that was pretty good. I think it really furthers the Randy Orton versus Big Show feud, but it's going to be really interesting to see where they go from here, since I've seen that they've pretty much used everything in the book since the feud started at WrestleMania 29.
They haven't used the kitchen sink.
Yep.
Okay, well, the next match, it wasn't really a match. It was Caitlyn and AJ up back, again talking about the stalker / secret admirer. I think Josh talked about it last week, but he thought it might have been Biggie Langston.
Yep, I've read that it may be Biggie Langston, but I believe it could be anybody at this point.
Yeah,
It's rumored to be AJ, the Bella Twins, Cody Rhodes, you name it.
Yeah, you got like a roster of about 80 people it could be at this point.
It's going to be interesting to see where they go.
Hopefully, Carly starts finding some clues that start leading into who it might be. But as long as this sort of undercover thing keeps Carly not wrestling on my TV, quite happy. We alluded to it earlier. The main event of the night was Chris Jericho taking on Ryback.
This was a very good match. I think Chris Jericho should have really put Ryback over instead of the disqualification finish. I think it made no sense whatever.
It put Ryback as that kind of guy who's, I'm just going to keep beating the hell out of you until you're done, which I'm allowed to do in my last man standing match.
Yeah, you're right. But I really think that Fandango, if they wanted to do the disqualification finish, I really think Fandango should have gotten involved. Because I don't really think having Ryback disqualified coming into his match at Extreme Rules with John Cena is not going to do well for his character.
Well, if he'd picked Jericho up and smashed him through an announce table or something and then just stood there counting to 10, then that would have made
Yes.
sort of sense, and it would have put him as this, I'm going to win this last man standing match.
Yeah. Yep. That's what they should have done.
Okay, well, we got a bit of spare time. Is there anything you want to talk about?
Let's talk about the card so far for Extreme Rules.
Okay.
It looks like we already have John Cena versus Ryback.
Yep.
And it looks like some other matches are going to be added too, like Ryback. Wait, no, not Ryback. Randy Orton versus the Big Show.
Yep.
Sheamus versus Mark Henry. And something involving The Shield, Kofi Kingston, and Team Hell No.
Yeah.
For those championships.
I don't know what exactly is going to come, but I think depending on how Cena is feeling going into that last man standing match, that match could still go either way.
Yep. I think that WWE may try putting the title on Ryback and see what the universe's reaction to him is.
Yeah.
But I think I think this is what they'll do. I think they'll continue John Cena's championship reign until some point this summer, where I think CM Punk will take the title from him.
Yeah. I think the Sheamus Mark Henry match is lining up to be a fairly big battle.
Yeah, it looks like they may go with the strap match, and I'm not a big fan of that stipulation, but Mark Henry and Sheamus have worked together before. I believe it was like SummerSlam 2010 or 11.
Yep.
But that was a good match, so I hope they put on a good match this time.
Yeah, I think anything like the strap match that restricts the movement and what you can do with the match always just lets the match down.
I don't really like the concept of having to touch all the turnbuckles. I'd rather just have the concept just be you have to whip the guy with the strap until you just pin him.
Like a strap on a pole match.
Yeah, pretty much like that.
Okay, then Big Show and Randy Orton.
Mhm.
I think
yeah, you go.
Okay, I think neither of these guys are doing much at the moment, and they've just sort of been shoved together for a match.
Yeah, I think they're still going to put on a good match, though, since they've worked together before in the past.
Yeah.
And they've put on a good show. But I think this feud has been a little bit lackluster. I think they've used a lot in this feud. They've had Big Show attack everyone. They've had Randy Orton attack Big Show and cost him the match. I think they really need to start thinking about what else can they do to make this feud pay-per-view worthy. What else can they do to make people want to watch Raw and SmackDown every week?
Yep. Talking about a feud that isn't boring, anything involving the Shield.
Yeah, I think the Shield will be holding, each of the members will be holding gold very soon. I think it's likely that Dean Ambrose will hold the U.S. title, and Rollins and Reigns holding the tag team titles.
Yeah. Or bronze.
Yep. Mhm.
Yeah, they've got to get something under them. They've shown their intentions for the tag titles multiple times. Okay, well, Brandon, it's been great having you on the radio here.
No problem.
And hope to have you back sometime.
Yeah, I'll definitely like to be back. I had a great time.
Cool. Okay, well, not too many superstars had birthdays this week. Former WWE superstar Jimmy Wang Yang was with WWE from 2005 to 2010, turned 32. Current WWE superstar Zack Ryder, who's been with WWE since 2007, turns 27. Vader, who's a WCW and WWE legend, came back for Raw 1000, and he turns 57. Billy Kidman's an ex-WWE star. He trains them now backstage. He turns 39. And Ron Simmons, who's in the class of 2012 Hall of Fame, was with WWF from 1996 to 2004. You may know him from his catchphrase. Damn! And he turns 55. That's it for this week. Please visit our Facebook page, facebook.com/Wrestling Roundup Radio, for all of the latest updates. I've been Grady Hooker on Wrestling Roundup, and I'll see you next week.